No mai haramai, ki te Forest Hill School TV.
Ko Oliana tuku ingoa.
Ko Izian tuka ingoa.
We have been learning about the Hauraki Gulf Marine Park and the many islands that are part of it.
For our learning, we have to write an information report and find out
English/Maori name for the island,
the square area and kilometers,
what kind of life is on the island,
what kind of industry does the island have or has had,
island history including Maori stories,
what environmental programs does it have, and any other interesting facts.
Following documentaries will share this information over 2 past series.
Mate wa!
Goat Island, the best place to have a rest, but what cool things are there about it? Goat Island was named after the goats that were released early from Europe in 1975.
Goat Island is about 1 hectare in length. Goat Island has snorkeling, glass bottom boats, and see-through kayaks for tourism and to look at the glory of the ocean at Goat Island.
Goat Island was discovered by the Maori tribes a long time ago. Goat Island is well known for the marine reserve where people go snorkeling. Goat Island is in the Hauraki Gulf and has many endangered creatures protected inside of that area.
Barrier
by Elijah and Tanosh. Island in the northern east of the Hauraki Gulf. It has a volcanic organ. Its generally wooded surface rises steeply to 2,370 feet and 722 meters tall, 28 square meters. Eastern North Island.
Great Barrier Island is east to the Little Barrier Island in Mount Motu, the flanks of which are cut by deep ravines.
Captain James Cook named the island in 1767 and it was bought by the British government in the 1880s.
The island is a wildlife sanctuary without permit. Inhabitants, visitors must pursue a permit to land for the Department of Conservation.
The Winds was acquired by the government as a nature reserve in 1894. The last Nangotai family was evacuated.
However, Nangota people have a continuing relationship with Little Barrier Island as it is known.
They have been involved in environmental programs on the island, such as eradication of the kaya, the Polynesian rat.
The Maori name for Little Barrier Island is Te Ho Turu o To. There is a nature reserve. Little Barrier Island was New Zealand's first nature reserve.
It is only the last forest area in the country, relatively undisturbed by browsing mammals, and is an invalued refuge for rare and endangered plants. Birds and animals whose mainland habitats have been destroyed.
Te Hoturo Toi means the resting place of lingering breezes. In Maori, the island is a nature sanctuary.
There are North Island kiwi, great spotted kiwi, Canada goose, and all kinds of other rare birds.
Thank you. Bye.
Great Barrier Island. The Maori name for Great Barrier Island is Aotea. Aotea translates into long white cloud. Great Barrier Island is 285 square kilometers and it's 45 kilometers long.
What kind of life is on Great Barrier Island? No ATM, no supermarkets, but there are lots of birds, insects, and even people live there. And a lot of the food is homegrown. The animals that live on the island is birds, insects, possums, stoats, ferrets, weasels, Norway rats, hedgehogs, deer, and feral goats. What kind of industry? Example, farming, mining, tourism. Does and has the island had or have now. Mining silver, gold, and copper, and timber industries bought native kauri.
Maori history and stories. Aotearoa is an important place in Maori traditional history. The Ngāti Rahua, Hapu of Ngāti Wai, who lived on the island today, can trace their association back over many centuries. Evidence of this long history of the island's numerous archaeological sites generally occurring in the coastal locations.
They include pa, earthwork fortifications with extensive defense and habitation features, agricultural and settlement sites identifiable by their still visible terracing, storage pits, depressions and deposits of food waste, midden and stoneworking sites. Some of the midden have been dated to the earliest period of occupation and provide information on the past environment and food sources.
What environmental programs?
The 2/3 of the island is managed by the Department of Conservation, who ensure the protection of the unique ecosystems and actively protect 3 rare and endangered species: the Shervan skink, only found out in Aotea, Pataki, the brown teal, and the Takoketia, black petrel.
Wairarapa is the third deadliest shipwreck ever in New Zealand waters. 121 people died when the boat crashed into the miner's head at the northwest point of Great Barrier Island. Even though there was a thick fog, the Wairarapa was travelling at 13 knots, 24 kilometres per hour. It was nearly full speed when it slammed into cliffs. The water began to flood and through a hole in the hull.
And the Wairarapa got pushed to one side. Most of the people on board slid off the deck into the sea. Heavy seas swept the others away. Those still on board clung to the rigging or climbed onto the bridge. A steward swam ashore with a line along which passengers hauled themselves through the water. Survivors huddled on the rocks for more than 30 hours before the local Maori rescued them. A resulting court of inquiry laid the blame on the Wairarapa captain, J.S. McClintosh. As well as maintaining excessive speed, he had taken the wrong course from 3 King Islands and now made an allowance for currents. Matewa!
Cowell Island by Kate Wong and Sammy Roberts. We helped each other on this and did it together. English/Maori name of the island. The English name Shag. The Maori name Tikapa Timora Otoi. Square area in kilometre of the island, just over 20 kilometres squared, 8 kilometres by 5 kilometres at its longest. It's one of the largest islands. What environmental programs are on the island? Wallabies control operations have been carried out on Cowell since 1923, with little success by curbing wallaby numbers or benefit to the island's forests. Some landowners have managed to fence the animals out of their properties and seen big improvements in forest health in those areas. Industry. Eliza and James Thompson of Australia bought Cowell Island in 1888 from Sir George Grey for $12,000. Mining was invented in Cowell Island in the 1840s. A magnetized mine was established on the island in the 1840s, shortly after copper was discovered by accident. The island was remained private ownership except for around 10%, which is owned by the Department of Conservation. Dock. and this includes the famous Mansion House in Mansion House Bay. In 1841, James Forbes Beatty, acting for the British Loan and Investment Company, hired a Mr. Henry Taylor to help purchase Maryland as an investment in New Zealand. Kawa Island was acquired with the intention of developing the hotels it had for agriculture and gazing.
Maori history and stories. Kawa is associated with the early Esther Toi to Huatai, from who comes to the island's traditional name, Tikapa Mora o Toi. The island is reported to have settled by descendants of Toi, and later by descendants of the crews of the Aoi and Tainui canoes. For 3 centuries, the island was occupied by people known as Nungi Tai, who were later defeated by Te Tai Iwa, specifically Nungatai Man Uhui. During the 18th century, there was continuing conflict between the resistance Kaurawa and the Motu conviction of tribes on the Haraki area over access to the shark fishing grounds. Kaurawa was later abandoned after the musket raids in the 1820s by Ngāpuhi and remained unoccupied until the 1830s. In this period, the Ngātai Man Uhui Hapuru of the Tikapa and Ngātai Wai returned to the island and adjoining coastline, where they remain to this day. After a protracted debate over ownership, Kawa was sold in the 1840s to W.T. Fairbairn of the North British Australian Loan and Investment Company.
What kind of life is on the island? There are peacocks everywhere, also kiwis, but hard to spot. There are wickers walking around you, but don't touch you and aren't too scared of you. Mopoks are howling at night. Mopoks are owls. There are lots of ducks as well. Wallabies hopping around close to trees so you don't find them, and finally big and tall trees like a forest. Other interesting facts. The island is named after the Maori word for the shag, cormorant bird.
Kawa Island is 80 kilometers off the coast, about 40 kilometers north of Auckland.
The trip to go there only takes 1 hour.
Around 80 people live on Kawa Island. Kawa Island is a popular destination for pleasure craft crossing the Hauraki Gulf, those looking for a relaxing escape in nature and bird sanctuaries. Kawa Island is known for having no road access. Accommodation and attraction destinations are reached via sea. Kawa Island was founded in 1844, so that was 1077. 1077 years ago. Hope you enjoyed.
Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about Slipper Island.
Slipper Island is very small, as its square kilometer is 2.68 square kilometers. The Maori name for Slipper Island is Whakahau. It means command.
Slipper Island is a 15 to 30 minutes boat ride from Pauanui. Pauanui on the Coromandel Peninsula is a 2.5 hours drive from Auckland.
It is still a sheep and cow farm. It has been a farm from the mid to late 19th century, but there are also different animals like chickens, horses, alpacas, and peacocks.
The elevation of Slipper Island is 103 meters.
People come to visit Slipper Island because of its beautiful scenery.
The western and southern sides of Slipper Island have white sandy beaches, while the northern and eastern parts feature rocky cliffs and dramatic volcano rocks.
There is a lighthouse located at the easternmost point of the island. It is an ideal destination with rewarding views. That means the views are spectacular.
Manaya Reef, off the southeastern headland, holds the wreckage of the steamship SS Manaya, which ran aground on 10th of June 1926 while on a passage from Tauranga to Auckland.
Matewa!
The Alderman Islands.
A marine park is a place where fishes and sea creatures live. You cannot swim in a marine park even though it looks like a normal beach. It is a place where sea animals live. The Hauraki Gulf Marine Park covers 1.2 million hectares. The marine park lies on the east coast of Auckland and Waikato regions.
Maori Name. The Alderman Islands' Maori name is Ruamahu, Kongiora, and Rumahoot. The square area in kilometers of the Alderman Islands is 130 hectares. Animals. There are animals on the Alderman Islands such as tuatara, robust skinks, spiders, reptiles, and birds. Population. The population of the Alderman Island is zero population, so it is just a plain island with no people on it.
The history of Alderman Island. Around 7 million years ago, Mountain Tarua was a volcanic lying at about 20 kilometers off the east of the coast of Tarua and Panui. The Aldermans are an important nature reserve and wildlife sanctuary made up of 4 main islands, rising up 4 main and many uncharted volcanic spires.
Plagues along the way detail Tairua colonial history. Only one is devoted to its long Maori occupation. Captain Cook named them the Court of Aldermen, having just to the south Mere Island, rising sea up to 200 meters straight out of the sea. They are among the most spectacular landforms in New Zealand. In 1933, the Crown proclaimed them and wildlife sanctuary. In 1969, Māori them to the Crown Furby enduring that purpose.
Tada!